Hello and welcome to the Love Talk Show Christmas special here at Clo Maggiore.
Maggiore.
That's
yes.
right. It's French/Italian. It's a lovely restaurant here in Soho, and we're very glad to be here. Apparently, this restaurant has been voted the most romantic restaurant around.
And when you come here, you see why. And it's an appropriate place for the topic of
Look
today.
at the fireplace right behind us.
Very cozy. Yeah. Because it's here that couples meet, they talk about the future, they propose. And the topic today is just married. So we are going to be discussing today some of the do's, of the don'ts that you should get right when you're just married.
Yes, we're going to be interviewing two couples who have recently gotten married. And as a matter of fact, 2 months. They've been married 2 months only. But they're going to be helping us shed a light on today's topic. The difficulties, the challenges, the adaptation, how to compromise on certain things that they didn't expect, and now they're coming face to face with those situations. It's going to be a very interesting show. Therefore, we want you to stay with us all the way until the end. Don't miss one single segment.
And do you know why? Because, sometimes when couples are married for a while and they face problems now, it's perhaps because in the beginning they didn't get it right, right? And I've heard people say that if you want to ruin a perfectly good relationship, then get married. Yeah. It's a sure way for you to ruin someone's relationship is getting married.
Somehow today people tend to run away from that. Why get into a long-term relationship? You don't know what's going to happen. You don't want to get disappointed, so keep it loose. Don't keep any strings attached. But we're going to prove that this is a wrong theory, that this is not true in today's show. Okay? We're going to go for a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to be interviewing these two lovely couples who will be sharing with us their experience of being married for 2 months only. Okay? Stay with us. Hello, our YouTube viewers. We are the presenters of the Love Talk Show.
I am Rafa.
And you know who I am, Luke. And we are here to encourage you to share this channel with your friends, your family members. Invite them to watch our shows, because our desire is to help couples and singles do better in their relationships or future relationships. So subscribe to this channel, share on your Facebook page, share the link with everyone you know, so that they can learn intelligent love.
Also, leave us our comments and your questions.
Welcome back to the Love Talk Show Christmas special here at Clo Maggiore, and today's topic is just married. That's right. Those who have just been married. And we are joined by two lovely couples who are just married. More precisely, 2 months, is that right?
Yes.
So we have here David and Tayo, Mike and Damilola. How are you guys?
Great.
2 months.
Yeah.
Are you ready to reveal to us the perks of being just married?
And the challenges, perks, challenges, obstacles, and the excitement, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to find out more about their relationship, who approached who, dating period, courting, things like that, what you guys did to conquer your lovely wives. But before that, we're going to eat, because our plates are empty, our glasses are empty. We're going to enjoy some fine food here at Clo Maggiore. Stay with us. So the food is really nice.
Something different.
So, do your wives cook well?
Yeah.
You have to say that.
Yeah. No.
Or is it too early to say so?
No.
Yeah?
So far, so good.
You're doing great. Are your husbands speaking about food?
Yeah.
Mike?
Yeah.
Very
What
good.
about
Like I am.
He's got healthy eating habits, so
He likes to refrain from salt and flavor. Actually, he likes flavor. He likes
All
flavor,
flavor.
but not no salt. So
Not too much, not too strong.
But so how do you do? Do you cook two different foods, one for him, one for you, or you just?
that's where the struggle was, because I was like, oh, I'm gonna miss out on my food, but I'm having to eat what he eats.
He likes it now.
Yeah, I like salads now a lot.
No, it's good. You're learning to adapt.
Yeah.
My plate is very green.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Very.
Ours is
He's the
colourful.
opposite. His plate is not so green. Sometimes I have to hide, the vegetables in the food, but he still manages to find it. He's the complete opposite. I have to put them on
Is
the
he
plate.
more of a meat guy?
More of a meat guy.
Yeah.
Sometimes I put carrots, then he gets the mayonnaise and he squeezes the mayonnaise on top of the carrots to avoid the flavour of the vegetables. So we're getting there slowly.
That's good. That's why you're married.
Yeah.
Otherwise, in 5 years' time, 10,
Yeah,
you'll be in
big
trouble with your health.
problems. Yeah.
So, and then, tell us a little bit about before marriage, when you met each other. How was it during the dating period? Let's start with the two of you. Who approached who?
well-
How did it happen?
I approached her, but with signals. I was trying to send you some signals, like I'm interested in you, but she wasn't getting any of them.
Which signals were you sending? Let's see if he's good with signals.
The first signal was friends, let's be friends. Second signal was I buy something, I buy for her too.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Sweets,
Oh, yeah.
we had this thing of if I buy sweets, I buy for her. If she buys sweets, she buys for me. Other thing was birthday message, birthday gift.
Were you getting those signals?
She wasn't
Not
getting
really.
No.
For me, we were just friends. So I never saw anything more than just.
But just before that, were you already friends or not at all?
No,
No, because we didn't know each
we
other.
didn't know each other, but
When he came and said, let's be friends, did you see that there was second intentions there?
Not at all.
and then after that we started.
Didn't work, you see, David?
Did it work or she's a bit clueless?
I think she's good because,
I think others would have probably seen the hints, but for me,
because we
it didn't
started
register.
the thing called the pact, the
yeah.
friendship. Then we became best friends, and we started saying, like we trust each
I
other
think maybe
and
then,
things
when he
like.
started saying best friends, I think the hints started to drop. But I think before then, he gave me the gift for my birthday. And I wasn't expecting anything from him at all. So for me, it was a nice gesture. So he got me the gift, and still then, I still didn't see
When you call
anything.
it the gift, okay, let's talk about it.
It was-
Was it the gift indeed, or?
For me, it was because now I think about it, it was difficult for him to have done that. He really had to have saved to have got me that gift. So when he gave it to me, at that moment I thought, okay, it's a friend giving a friend a gift, nothing more. But years later, when I think about it now, it was definitely more than.
Can you tell
a
us
gift.
what the gift is all about?
Oh,
Well, it was from her favorite store. I had to find out from people what her favorite store was. It was a gift. I wanted to buy her something, but I didn't know, what she would like. So I got her a gift voucher for her favorite store, and then after that, I told you how I got it. I explained to her I did this, I did that, I
Was
did
anything
that.
else together with the voucher?
A card.
A card.
There was this card.
And still you didn't get it.
And I called her after, explain I did this
okay, when he
just for
started
you
to
for the
explain,
gift.
then I started to get it. But
Here,
when I
yeah,
just
no,
received,
you're clueless.
when I
Yeah,
just
I can
received
see
the
that.
gift, for me it was just we're friends and that's it. But when after some time, maybe like a month or so, he explained how we got the gift, and I thought, okay, a friend wouldn't go to this extent to.
Finally, the penny dropped.
It dropped. It dropped for me.
Were you interested when the penny dropped?
At first, no. At first, no. At first, no. So at first, when I saw, okay, he liked me, I didn't really see anything because he was in a relationship previously, and in my mind it was he still liked that person. That's how I saw it as, because people would always mention her, they would always speak about her. So my mind was okay, he's still interested in this person, or they had a history. So
You don't want to be a rebound.
I don't want to be a rebound. I don't want to be that girl. That person said, okay, I'm going to put it aside and.
But
just,
we must admit that you're a bit naive.
yeah, I agree.
She was
I
because
sent you cards and messages.
we kept on. Then we got to the point where we said best friends. I trust you. I tell you everything. She still didn't get it.
No, I think then I got it.
No, because I asked you after a while.
How long did it take from the moment that you said, okay, I'm going to make my first move until...
It was, let's say, about a year and a half.
I'll say about a year.
A year and a half.
You really
So
studied
that's
her
why
well.
because there were times when I would try to send signals. I think there were times where other people were getting some signals, but you were not getting it.
I have a friend, and my friend's mum would always say to her daughter, Tyra and David, later on they're going to be together. But for me, I didn't see. So when she would tell me these things, I'd be like, no.
But you know something that I find interesting, David, you can confirm here. We find that, with the couples that we work with, it's more interesting when it's like the thrill of the chase, no? Because she didn't say yes. Yeah. So see, here's a hint. Here's a hint for you. Don't make it too easy for the guy because it makes him more interested when you're not interested at first. At least you don't seem as interested. So
because men like that.
Yeah.
Men in general, they like that. They like that thrill of challenges. Yeah. So when a woman makes it too easy for the man, so it's too easy for him. So I conquered that one. Let me move to the next. Right. So when you make it hard for him, so he's gonna have to think of all the ways to get to you. Because the signals were all over the place except
for me.
There was even a time when I would say we speak about like people that we find interesting. I would try to explain, the person I'm interested. I was literally describing her. She would not get it.
I remember actually.
I was literally describing her. She wouldn't. Then when she speaks, she would start speaking.
So we can establish here right now that you are very good at doing that, and you are very naive. You are very clueless.
I think only after then I started to pick up the hints.
What about the two of you? Did it work the same or was it a bit different?
A bit different. So I was single for quite some time. Then a mutual friend suggested me about, to her, mentioned her name to me. So I said, okay, I was in a relationship before, but some time passed. I said, okay, now I'm ready to go to find the right one, the right person. So when he told me her name, even showed me a picture, I didn't throw hints. I approached. I just went straight. I approached. He told me,
signals.
No signals. I approached. It was a Wednesday. He told me it was on the Saturday. I approached her.
Wow.
Yeah.
What did you say, Mike? Because guys, they find it difficult sometimes. Like, what do I say? That won't make a bad impression or whatever.
Not really.
Not all guys.
No.
Some guys, they are.
Here you have 3 guys on that table that can contradict that, right? It's not very hard. It may be awkward for some, but
that's what I'm saying. Like
I
they
think
don't know.
Our 2 cameramen who also agree with that. So you see, he was. You see, 2 different scenarios, but he was working very well with the signals, and you went
straight to the point.
Straight on.
That's
what did you say?
So I approached her. I mean, the first time she saw me, she your face kind of threw off. But that didn't put me off. I still approached anyways.
Good for you, Mike.
I approached anyway. I shook her hands, said hi, introduced myself. My name is Mike. She goes hi. So I told her the truth. Look, I'm interested in you. I heard about you. I took out my phone. When I took my phone, I just saw the phone, so like this. She was like, "Can I get your number?" and etc. That's straight to the point. Then I remember the first time I called her. It was like one word answer. So, how's your day today? It was fine. So my fight,
very dry.
My fight wasn't the hints. It was when we started talking. Then I had to win her over to start liking me because at the beginning it was more of, okay, you got my number, I got your number, talking now.
So were you making it hard on purpose?
I was not making it hard on purpose. I think it was unconsciously because whenever he speaks about this story, and not just him, because at the time we were around a few people when he did this. He did it in the open.
Did it openly.
Wow. So people saw me that day.
Did you know? No. Like, could you tell that he was coming to speak? And
I saw him coming. I saw him walking towards me, and it was unconscious because so people would say like my face, like my body language was like really bad, and for me I was just like, I wasn't trying to be, because the mutual friend, they said be open-minded, and the fact that they said that made me continue and invest in this relationship, because I was like, let me be open-minded, let me get to know him, but unconsciously I was being quite difficult, and I didn't even.
And how long did it take until things really settled? And
boy, I would say
time.
It took a long time, no. Because, for example, in David's case, they were talking already, but she didn't want to get the signals. We're talking already. So I had to work inside the talking. So to the point that I think I broke you the day with the surprise. Remember the surprise?
Yeah.
Yeah, the surprise. That was a good surprise.
What was the surprise about?
So we had another mutual friend, because sometimes I'm a bit crazy like that. I want to do something good. So I got a gift because I had another friend who got it for me for free. It was like a massive flower, and what was it, chocolate? Chocolate, and was it a drink as well?
Yeah.
Chocolate drink was really big.
Wow.
So I gave it to her, to the friend. I said, listen, call Damilola, meet her somewhere, and then give it to her. I think, did I call you or text you about something?
You text me.
I forgot what I said, but it was something totally different. Then when the friend went to go meet her, I told the friend to record her face, record her when you give it to her, and then send it to me.
Right.
And then, of course, that day she wasn't fully dressed as well because she went to go meet her friends. She gave it the friend, your face that day. It's like that day I could see she's finished.
I wasn't expecting it.
Yeah, that was it.
So you got through her.
Yeah.
You said, this is it.
Yeah.
So guys, as you can see, that's the first part. The conquering, the conquest, right? The challenges. We're gonna come back after the break and look into how things are now after the wedding day, after the honeymoon, and when things get real in a relationship. Okay? Stay tuned.
Do you know what intelligent love is? But you can find out on our site. It's lovetalkshow.tv. Many people, they struggle in love, in their relationships. They keep losing their hearts, their feelings, and everything always goes to waste. So if you want to learn to love intelligently, that's the place you should visit. lovetalkshow.tv. We also have our Facebook page, our Instagram page, Love Talk Show. So visit us.
I just agree with everything she said. Welcome back to the Love Talk Show, Christmas special here in Clo Maggiore. And we are here with Mike and Damilola, David and Tyrone, and obviously Luke and Rafa, as usual. And today is all about just marriage. Just being married. We have two couples here who are married for 2 months. 2 months only. So we're dedicating this special to those who got married this year, and talk a little bit about the challenges, excitement, and perks of just being married. Right? So in the first segment, we spoke a little bit about the dating period, how you guys approached your respective wives, used signals.
Yeah.
She didn't get it.
Right at it. Pow! Isn't it? Yeah. And now, after the wedding, right? Honeymoon, night.
It was lovely.
Where did you go for your honeymoon?
We went to South England. South England?
Okay, maybe it is.
And you?
Went to Spain.
Went to Spain. All right. Now, let's get real about marriage.
It's because there's so much build up until the day of the wedding. So much worry, so much planning, and everybody usually tends to concentrate on the wedding day.
Their plans is up to the wedding day.
Yeah.
Probably until
And
the honeymoon.
honeymoon.
After it's like after we see.
Yeah, we deal with the
usually.
things as they come, and that's the danger of it, right? So how did you guys deal with that? Let's start with the two of you, because in the previous segment we started with you.
So I'm a very lone ranger because I've been single for quite some time. So being with me being myself, when I have an issue or problem, I just go and solve it. I go deal with it. That's it. It's done. I look for the next day now. So whenever there's this issue or there's a problem, I don't speak to her. I solve the problem. I do solve it, but I didn't tell her what the problem was.
Right.
But the problem solves.
Not much sharing there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And for me, that's quite difficult because even though, obviously, I wasn't married, I'm from a big family where everyone talks about everything and just puts it out there. And okay, this person went out to go to the doctor. We know everything. But here, when it's just me and him and he doesn't say anything, I'm just like, okay, I need to know what's happening. And it's adjusting to communication and adjusting to speaking.
Usually men think like this: what's the point of sharing? I don't have to share that much. Is that how you think or used to think?
That would even cross through my mind. I would just think like, okay, this problem is here, done.
Period.
That's it.
Because men are very practical. They say, why does she need to know about the problem if I can solve it? So let me just, the important thing is let's solve the problem.
Yeah.
I have an example. This was actually the wedding planning.
Okay.
And it was like our first like big disagreement.
Even before marriage.
Yeah,
Wow.
and it was just before we were just about to get married. Literally, it was to do with our getting registered, our civil ceremony. So there was a situation, the procedure of it, that he went to deal with there was a problem with it, and he went to get a solution and sort it out by himself. But before that, I had asked him, okay, how did it go? He didn't tell me anything about the problem, the solution. And then later on, I found out, that the problem, and he found the solution. But I was like, why didn't you tell me? Because I knew the problem and the solution. But as you said, because he was being practical about it, he just went there to solve. But the time that I called and asked, how was it? I had it all in my bag.
But how do you see it now? Do you see it that's something you should continue doing, or you are already having a different approach?
Now we work as a team together.
You've seen that this doesn't work, right, Mike?
I was really, that day was like, because I was explaining it to him, and he was like, I don't understand. He didn't understand it. Yeah. And then after we came to...
Because like I said, for me, the problem is solved. Let's just move on.
We are men like that, right? We don't talk much, we don't express much. Plus, as you said, you've lived on your own for quite a while. Yeah. You are not only single, I think you said that you even lived by yourself for a long time. Yeah. So pretty much independent. Yeah. Now you're having to share, learning to share what you do, communicate, but you didn't see the point in your mind, right? But you're saying before that now it's different because you work like a team, right?
Yeah.
So how is it working out?
Now we're much more better now. Now we work as a team. Not even to situations where she has the solution even better than my one. So that's like...
Well.
It's also because some people might not... It makes sense, you know. Why would you give somebody a problem that you can solve? Much better to just solve. If you have to mention it, then just say there was a problem and I solved it. It's just that for us, wives, we want to be part of your life, even if it's being part of a problem that you're solving.
And not only that, we men must understand that we don't have everything figured out.
Yeah.
The right answer for everything. Sometimes we get surprised.
Indeed.
Because when you share, your wife may say, hey, hold on a second. I don't think that's the best solution or the best approach. What if you do this way? Or maybe we already did what we had to do or said what we had to say. And she's going to say, I don't think you did the right thing. Obviously, the man must be humble enough to realize that. But it helps you improve. For example, it's been 15 years, I have improved a lot. Why? Because there's certain things she says, believe me, certain things she says I don't like.
Well,
but I understand it's the right thing. So I go like this, come on. But she's right, you know. So, and this is something that you too, you especially you see throughout, you know, your relationship throughout the years. The need of your wife's input. That's very important.
Participation. You want to participate in your life. Now that we are together, that we share a life together, then we must share. We must be part of each other's lives, and that's.
Well, how come you adapted so quick?
One thing I would say, because she's Nigerian and I'm Congolese, so it's like, even though it's our cultures that made us, because we both eat, for example, yesterday we had African foods. We can both eat that, no problem. And also the families, or they adjusted as well. So I think that part helped us adjust quickly.
I didn't expect that we would adjust so quickly at all. I was like, that was one thing that I was the most afraid about, because I would be like, I'll need a month or 2 months before I can just fully be comfortable.
2 days.
We were just fine. It was as if obviously it wasn't as if we had been married for many years, but it was like the way we were just comfortable and free with each other. It was quite quick.
Know, there will be more.
Definitely.
Definitely. You know, believe me. But at least you have learned intelligent love.
Yes.
Right? And that's what you're applying to your relationship.
Yes.
Right? So 2 months.
Yes.
Right? And then?
Wow.
I think when briefly going back to the dating period, even whilst we were dating, we would have different disagreements here and there. And speaking about it now, we used to always say, in our minds, we had the same goals, so we thought we were very similar. We thought we were extremely similar. We had the same goals, the same focus. We are exactly the same.
That you finish the sentence and
we were so similar.
You click.
Really
We really believed we were very similar. But then as time went on, we realized we're not so similar. Our goals were the same, but as individuals, we wasn't similar at all. So when
we saw it more as is like we're so similar. So when I didn't realize that it was her differences. So when she would do something, I'll be confused because if we're similar, you should do what I would do, and vice versa.
The chemistry wasn't there anymore.
It wasn't there. So for us,
Shock to space.
it shook us completely. So we would have different disagreements here and there. So then I thought, okay, but things will change when you get married. You're not going to face as much problems. There will be problems, but not as much. Or, okay, you're learning to be one, to get to know each other, to see your differences and make them similarities. Then we got married, and then we noticed differences.
Then that's when you really saw, right?
Clearly already see a difference here because you seem to be very energetic when you speak.
I love to talk.
You talk, you're very bubbly, and he's there.
He's very calm. He's very calm. I like to talk and have fun. He's very calm and but yeah, so when we got married, one of the differences that I noticed that I had to adjust to, which was the fact that I like to be at home. I like to be at home. I like to be there in the room, and if we have a time to spend, just stay at home. He's the complete opposite. He wants to go for a walk. He wants to go to the park. He wants to go shopping. He wants to do this. He wants to do that. And when we first got married, for the first 2 weeks, I made her stay at home because I wanted to stay at home.
And I couldn't take it.
The first 2 weeks.
The first two,
and I couldn't take it.
The first 2 times that we had the chance to be together, we stayed at home because I wanted to stay at home. And then I remember one day he spoke to me, not being rude or anything. One day he spoke to me and it really dawned on me how selfish I had been. He said to me, you know, Tyrone, for these past few years, I've lived by myself. I've lived with one other person. I never really get to go out as much. So now that we're married, I expect to do that with you. You're my wife. You know, we should be able to go out and have fun. When he said that, I felt so bad. It really dawned on me how selfish I had been. Like I wanted to do things like my way. I wanted us to go out.
But what is interesting here is your approach to the situation. His approach, was it a rough approach or soft approach?
Not at all. He spoke to me so gently, and I think that's what hit me the most. I think if he spoke to me vigorously, I think then something would have brewed up. But because he spoke so calmly, it was like I had time to think and understand what he was saying to me.
Because before, like if I noticed something that wasn't right, you know, it would straight to the point, go, why is it like this and that, and then always something little will start from there. So, but the reason why I went to speak like this is because at that moment we were actually, it was through the marriage course. And there was one day that they were speaking about how to address and speak to people about certain things. So I remember that day I was like, oh yeah, that's me, I do that. I speak to her sometimes about the approach and how, so I said, okay, let me just, because already I couldn't take it. And I think she could see I was literally itching, just wanted to go out, I don't know. And the hardest thing was, if she goes out, there has to be a motive. Okay, we're going out to do this and that. If I go out, it's just free. Just take the bus, take it anywhere, and just go.
Where we go? We used to have a whole plan. I
don't like to go to the mall and just
I could just go and walk.
Yeah, just
without
go,
any
spend time.
Where are we gonna go? Especially when it goes to malls. It's stores. Go in, buy what you have
There's
to buy,
always
get
one.
out. Yes.
In
So I'm pretty much more like you.
I said, what time are we leaving? What time are we
It's not a man thing or a woman thing.
It's just a thing.
So, when you approached her, besides being soft, different from the way you did before, did you present her a plan, a schedule?
Well, I had to. We had to compromise. We had to go halves and halves. So I had to respect that she didn't like to be out too much. So and she had to also respect that I wanted to go out. So it was actually good because it was not the first time, but it was a good time that we managed to just come together and realize that we need to
and we're
understand.
seeing things different because even these past 2 times that we've had to go out, I made an effort to go out with him. Like there was a movie that came, he wanted to go and watch it. I said, okay, let's go together. This Saturday, the same thing. So it's both of us learning, like you were saying, to learn to love intelligently because I didn't really have the best background on love or the best and this teachings. So for me, everything that I learned about love was through coming to the seminars or learning from fresh ground from scratch. I had to learn how to love intelligently, how to be a good wife, because I didn't necessarily have these understandings or these teachings. So I would say most of the things that we apply in our marriage has definitely derived from the teachings that we've learned there for sure. And it's what's made our marriage what it is today. Not the best, like you said, still things will come, but what's made us so strong in these past 2 months is what we've learned and put them into practice. And I'm excited for what's to come.
Sweet.
You know what is interesting is that some people might say, oh, but these are small things, these are silly things. But these are the exact things that make a couple be apart later on.
But this is real. This is real.
Yeah, this is marriage.
What people see in movies and books or read in books, I mean, you have some true facts there. But we know it's a bit pampered, the way it happens, right? But this is real. You're gonna face situations, some of them unexpected. You have to adapt. You have to compromise, as you said. You have to make adjustments. Because this is an investment for life. It's not just for a few months, for a few years, and then, okay, you go your way, I go my way, we try with somebody else. That's not marriage, right? That's an adventure. We're talking about real marriage. Even though you're recent married, I mean, this is for life. You're not here for, we see how it goes. That's not why we brought you here. We brought you here because we know it's the beginning, we know that you're gonna keep this for the rest of your lives. And people need to understand that they need to do what you are doing. I mean, there'll be other challenges, there'll be other, confrontations, but how are you gonna handle them? If you don't handle them intelligently, but emotionally, it's going to be a disaster.
And the sooner in a marriage you adjust, so you see, as soon as you see little problems, you solve them, you talk about them, you adjust, then the sooner you get to enjoy, being with that person, enjoying marriage. The problem is, some people, they can't, when they have problems like this, small ones, they just, okay, let's leave it. They don't solve it, let's leave it. Or they have lots of problems in the beginning. Some couples, they get married and 3 months later they are separated because of problems like this. So the sooner you know how to adjust to each other, the better for the couple.
Yeah. So, having said that, the future, expectations.
Yeah. Exciting.
More adjustments, more discoveries as well. Because I think, like, even in these 2 months, it's like certain things that I thought I knew. Now that we're married, I didn't know, and then I'm married. I'm just like, oh, so he likes things that way, and then it's like keep that in mind and keep on adding to that.
One thing I said at the beginning is that marriage is the best thing that could happen to us humans. It's not a bad thing. Sometimes some people nowadays they speak about it as if you're put in a dungeon. Right? No, no strings attached. Keep it loose. But that's not real. That's not it. Because a marriage makes you a better person. You're becoming each other's mirror right now. You see who you are, your true self. Your true self. Your spouse brings up things that you never thought about yourself. I'm not like that. What are you talking about? Yes, you are. And that person will confront you to make you better. So you improve as a human being. You can, later on in the future, you can talk about things, you can experience things that others have not. And it adds up to you, to who you are. Right?
I think it's very cute that they are 2 months married.
Do you see that way, the mirror there?
Yeah, because I can say, sorry.
Go ahead.
Before when we would think about marriage, I don't know if you remember, every time we talk about it, I always say, my gosh, I'm scared. You always used to ask me, what, do you remember? I used to be always, not petrified, but just because you see many, in my family especially, majority of my family members have had really bad marriages, some of them more than one. And at that time, another family member that was like the one that, two family members that they were still the married couple of the family.
Cornerstone of the family.
They were breaking up. So it was actually a big thing. Even for me, it was a bit of a shock. So every time we speak about it, it was, wow, so like a scary thing that we're about to get into. But now, it's different.
Not scary anymore.
in my case, my mother used to make a joke saying that she would call me a dictator when I was at home. She remember my mom said that.
Yeah.
She remember my mom. She goes, he's a dictator. Because I was, my father wasn't there, so I was the only man in the house. It became my mentality as well. I wouldn't say things went my way, but I had a say in the house. I had that say. So my mom would make jokes, he's a dictator, he's a dictator. So being with Dami now, because in my mind, I didn't think I was one. Because I'm single by myself, so I didn't have any clash with anyone. So now I'm living with her.
Nice to meet you, dictator.
So
you really exist.
Yeah. So yeah, basically that. She's like, I want it like this. There was even a time that we were working, she even said, remember, like, you're very picky this way. I'm like, I don't notice this. I don't see like, yeah, you're perfect. Me, perfectionist, I don't think so. I don't think I am. I'm sloppy, but when it comes to certain things, I want it to be this way. But now I've realized I need to.
Yeah, because up to that moment, people were just telling you.
Yeah, and you didn't
like,
believe it.
whatever. But now that person's there with you, you know, most of the time,
Yeah.
and that person can see you very well, and you're gonna take that person's word, right? I mean, you can either take it for granted or take it seriously. But you know, because it's your wife or your husband, you're gonna take it seriously if you're serious about that relationship, and then you know that that person really means what he's saying, she's saying, right?
Yeah.
So thank you guys for coming and sharing with us your experience, even though it's too early. But in the future, we're gonna bring you back.
Yeah.
Maybe 5 years from now, 7 years, we're gonna say how it's been so far. Thank you very much. And we're gonna go for a quick break, and after the break, we're gonna watch the 3 most annoying things. Let's see what has been annoying these newlyweds for the past 2 months. Stay with us. Hello everyone, we are here to invite you to our Love Talk seminars every Thursday at 8 p.m. on the address that you can see here at the bottom of your screen. You can also find more details on our website, lovetalkshow.tv. You find events throughout the year. They are all free, where you're going to learn a lot about relationships. You know, singles and couples are invited. Our desire is to share with you a little bit of what we've been through, and also, you know, help you with prayers, with advice, with counseling, down-to-earth teachings in which will help you become a better man, a better woman, a better husband, a better wife, and see, you know, better results of your investment when it comes to relationships. Okay, every Thursday, 8 p.m., Love Talk Live on this address here that you see at the bottom of your screen.
The 3 most annoying things about David is 1, sometimes something is broken and he always tries to fix everything. Something happens, or I break something, or I drop my phone, he quickly picks up the phone and he tries to fix it, and I'm like, just leave it alone, you don't have to fix everything.
The 3 most annoying things about Tyrone is 1, when we're watching a movie, or mainly when we're watching a movie or a program or series, she doesn't know what it's about, doesn't understand what's going on. She will go on Google and she will search up the whole movie and read the whole thing, characters, what's gonna happen next. Only when she's seen everything that's gonna happen in the movie, then she'll watch. But for me, it just spoils everything. Thank God she doesn't read it out loud, because it'll be worse.
The second thing is, sometimes I say something and he says, what? And I say, it's fine. He says, what? Just tell me. It's fine. What? Just tell me. He will ask 6, 7 times, and I'm just like, sometimes I say something so unmeaningful, but he wants to know what I said, and I'm always like, no, it's fine, just leave it. But he asks us again, what is it, Tyrone? Very annoying.
Second thing is when we're out, we're somewhere in public, and I'm asking her something or I'm talking, and she goes, shh, everyone can hear you. And I'm like, I tell her around, I said, no one's looking. She said, no, they heard you. I said, no, I'm talking low. Every time I talk, It's like it's too loud.
And the third most annoying thing about David is sometimes I'm in the kitchen and I'm preparing the food and I say to him, David, the food's done, just sit down. He will walk around the whole house and still not sit down. Okay, the food's on the plate now. David, sit down on the table. I'm gonna put the food there. No, Tyrone, he'll walk around the whole house. So only until the food is on the table, he will sit down. And sometimes it throws me off focus. I just wanna be in the kitchen, put the food together and have him sitting on the table, just put the food there. But no, he wants to walk around the whole house. He walks in the living room, he walks in the room, he walks out of the kitchen, he walks until the food is actually on the table. So I would say that's very annoying. Just sit down, David. Sit.
I think the third one is when she's watching something on her phone, especially on YouTube, and for some reason, even though she has a decent sized phone, she doesn't put it on full screen. I just find that so confusing. So the screen is tiny on the whole phone, and she's watching it there. And I always ask her, why don't you put it on full screen? She's like, I don't know. That's like, just put it on full screen. Yeah, that's the third one.
The three most annoying things. Number one is that my husband believes in alarm clocks, and I do not believe in alarm clocks. Therefore, he has an alarm clock in which he bought from where I don't know. That is the loudest alarm clock in the whole wide world. It's called a Thunderbolt alarm clock, and he uses that to wake him up at unusual hours and makes it very unbearable for me to wake up because it's just a horrific alarm clock. So that's the number one thing I find annoying, that he really believes in this alarm clock to wake him up, and sometimes he doesn't even wake up when it's so loud. So that's the number one thing.
Okay, so the three annoying things about my wife. Number one, she really is annoying. Like, out of nowhere, she just has her moments where she just wants to be funny. I'm watching TV, she'll just come and jump on me. Literally, she'll jump on me, say some funny stuff, and then walk away. I'm like, what was that for? These moments to just make something funny, and it wasn't even funny. I'm like, babe, what joke was that? That wasn't even fun. That's the first one.
Number two is that he has very particular eating habits. They're good eating habits, but it's really hard for me to adjust to it. So he likes we can't have salt, we can't have rice, white rice, we can't have many things that I'm used to. I find a bit annoying from him because he's like, I don't like that, I don't like this, I can't eat this, I can't eat that. So that's annoying.
The second thing is that out of nowhere, my phone will be on the table, and it'll just disappear. I find it again, and I find selfies of her pictures on my phone. I'm like, okay, no problem, but so many pictures, 10, 20 of yourself with the same position, the same pose. That doesn't make any sense to me. Take one and that's it, it's over.
The third annoying thing is, this one's really annoying, really, really annoying, because when a product is finished, so maybe a cream or water bottle, he just leaves it. He doesn't throw it in the bin, he just leaves it there. Especially like the creams and things that are finished, he leaves it there as if it can still be used. So I find that really annoying that he doesn't throw it away, because I like to throw things away. As soon as they're done with, throw it away, but he keeps them there around for me to throw away. So that's quite annoying.
The third one is when she's cleaning the room, I have certain stuff, and then I go to it and it's missing, and I ask her, oh, what is this thing? I don't know, but you put it away, you threw it away, where is it? I don't know where it is. Yeah, but it was you that cleaned the room. Yeah, but I don't know where it is. So these are the three annoying things about my wife.
One would say that 2 months is not enough for you to get annoyed, but here we are showing you that, absolutely it's enough.
And what is interesting is that the things that they find annoying, like for us, are like, why? But you see, this is marriage in a nutshell. You know, you have to learn those things. These are the things that people think that will not happen up to the day of the wedding. They plan everything up to the honeymoon. After the honeymoon, as we mentioned in the previous segment, they think like this, we deal with things as they come. And that's wrong. You have to be ready for these things. We've seen couples fighting over, petty things. And sometimes they get into real trouble because of that. And one thing leads to another. We've spoken, for example, we've counseled couples, we've counseled married couples who have got into a situation, but when we start digging deep, they are no longer talking about that particular problem. They're talking about something else. They easily deviate from the main problem, the core problem. And when you talk to them, you realize that they are fighting over things that are really, nonsensical, per se.
Luke, something that people have to understand. If you are planning to get married, if you're engaged to be married, there will be changes. I didn't think that when we got married because we had a really good relationship. I really loved him, he loved me, we cared about each other. And then I thought, it's always going to be like that, it's always going to be romantic, it's always going to be as nice as it is now. But the truth is, now that you have somebody all the time with you, and there's no need anymore to win you over because I've won you,
Exactly.
things change, and it's normal. You should expect changes.
One of the things that one of the couple said, one of the guests said, which was Mike, said that his mother used to tell him that he was a dictator. You're a dictator because he was the only man in the house. He didn't have his father around. We understand. Perhaps he had a rough upbringing, especially with that demand over his shoulders. You are the only man in the house. But he kind of brushed that off most of the time. No, I'm not like that. However, when he married Lola, that was right on his face. As we were saying, the spouse becomes the mirror. And now I want to touch again on what I said in the beginning. Why marriage is good to us. Why, how it does so much good to us. Because now he could see that, yes, I am a little bit like that, and I shouldn't be like that. That's not good. My wife is not happy with the way I am. So I need to improve a little bit. So you see, he became a better person. He became a better man because of his wife. Because he's in a marriage, he's in a relationship, in a serious relationship. Both of them have learned intelligent love. Both of them made the decision to stick together through thick and thin. They are not just, just fooling around, kidding around. They are serious about this relationship. So he was confronted with that, was humble enough to adapt and change.
That's one thing that intelligent love prepares you for you to understand that you are not the perfect person that you were. Yeah. And it's not just
that we're very bad judges of ourselves.
It's not that you think you're perfect. It's just that you think the way you are is all right. Yeah. When in marriage, you see that it's not all right.
And the other person perhaps is more at fault than you are. I remember counseling this lady who said that she thought, and when she came for help, that 90% of the problems within the marriage was her husband's fault. And hers was only 10%. But, coming to the seminars, through what she was learning, she came to realize that perhaps 70% of the problems is my fault. So that changed completely. Because, as I said, we are very bad judges of ourselves. And, this is what causes a lot of friction within a relationship, when people are not seeing that person is there to make you better. That person is not there to make you happy. You're there to make that person happy, and that person is there to help improve. So once you start seeing your relationship that way, that your spouse is there to make you a better person, and you are there to make that person happy, this is it. You have their, you're receiving here big tip on how you can make this relationship work.
Yeah, it's a matter of understanding that what you've been up to the moment you got married, it's focused on yourself, on the things that you wanted. Perhaps you've been independent, like Mike was, so you're used to living a certain way. Mm-hmm. You need to understand that when you bring somebody into your life, not everything you are allowed to do the way you used to, because now you are sharing your life with someone else. Mm-hmm. So we tend to be very selfish. I was very selfish when we got married.
Which was the case of Tayo.
Yeah.
She said she
realized it really early, which is good.
She doesn't like going out. She likes to stay at home, which is understandable. But David doesn't. So they had to compromise. his approach was very soft, was different from the previous times when he had to approach her to confront her about something else. So you see, these are all things that they are adapting, they are putting to practice. There will be more challenges ahead.
For sure.
But that's why we want to bring them into today's show, to give you this idea of what it is to be a newlywed, to come from dating to the wedding day, honeymoon, and all the first few weeks and months of a relationship. You need to adapt from day one. Perhaps even before, as Damilolo was saying, there was a disagreement prior to the wedding. So if you do that, chances are that you're going to have a very successful and healthy relationship, and that relationship will last long. And one more thing before we finish. Remember that it's very important to be adaptable, to compromise, to be humble, to accept change. There's something else I wanted to say, but it skipped my mind right now. So that you can make this relationship work. Okay? So this is it for today. We would like to thank everyone at Clo Maggiore for their lovely help and reception. The food was lovely.
The fireplace
we recommend. So it's been a wonderful experience for all of us, and this is it for today. See you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
And that's all for today's Love Talk show. Be sure to tune in next week to learn more on how to love intelligently.
This program is brought to you by UCKG.